Welcome our SVM students. Today we are going to see about collisions in our fourth lesson. What is the fourth lesson? Work, energy and power. In that fourth lesson we are going to see about the collision. So, in general, in our daily life, day-to-day life, we have any one of the collision, we can say. Suppose we are going to play a cricket game, there we are bowling and one batsman is going to strike the ball. At the time of ball hit on that bat, that ball and bat are making collisions. Not only that, another game we can take, billiards game. At the time of playing billiards game, two billiards balls makes a collision between one body to that another body, extracting a forces between one body to another body, extracting a force on each other, not by the external body. So these collisions obeys some conservation laws. First of all, we can say momentum is conserved, even it may be any type of collisions. So that's why we can say the moment, that is a collision is a common phenomenon that happens around us ever, now or then. So that collisions may happen with or without a physical contact. With or without physical contact. So we have examples for with physical contact collision and without physical contact collision. We have examples. So that's why we are going to take on collision is a common phenomenon. That happens around us. Ever. Now and then we can say. Generally, we can say like this. Then we will give examples for collision with physical contact and without physical contact. So we are going to see the two examples. Example for collision with physical contact. We can say billiard ball. Hit one on the other. That is one of the example for collision with physical contact. Then we can say what example for that collision without physical contact. Without a physical contact. Best example we can say, there at any moment we have a two moving charged particles. It may taken that two moving charged particles are positive alone. The two are move closer. The two may experience the repulsive force by other charge. Without contacting that one charge with that other charge, the two may experience the repulsive force. That is one of the example for collision without contact. We will take a very small diagram. Q1 charge we are taken. That is a positive. It is moving in this direction. Another charge we are going to take on, that maybe also moves or at rest. Suppose that the Q2 charge, that also positive. This first charge like to move in a straight line alone, but at the straight line movement at one particular position, another charge is exists. What may be happen when that first charge move near to that second charge? If the two are same kind of charge means, then the first charge, moving charge, cannot move in a straight line. The path may be changes due to the top repulsive force. That also collision, but without contact. If the Q1 charge path is changing by that second charge without in contact, then that is one of the example for collision without physical contact. Collision without physical contact. So whatever may be that types of collision, that is with contact or without contact collisions, between one with other may extracting a force. That's why momentum of system is conserved. Momentum of the system is conserved. The system may contain the two particles, may has their masses of m1 and m2. Whatever may be that collisions obeys the conservation of linear momentum. There we are going to take an example for that, for proving the conservation of the linear momentum. Example, we are going to take two balls, ball 1 and ball 2. The two balls are going to move towards each other. If they are moving towards at one instant, the two are going to collide with each other. At the time of collision, ball 1 exerts some amount of force on that ball 2. At the same instant, ball 2 also exerting some force on that ball 1. Due to that mutual force act on one on the other, the two are change the direction of motion as well as the momentum of their objects may be changes. But what may be happen means, between each other only they are making a collision. So according to that conservation of the linear momentum without external force, total momentum before collision, that is total momentum means momentum of the first object plus momentum of that second object, that is the total momentum of the system before collision. and then after collision. So at the instant of collision, they two extract a force one on another, and after that, two objects are moving the other directions. Maybe moves in this direction, B1 and B2. After that the collision also, there we have a momentum for first object and the second object. Then there we can calculate the total momentum after collision. The two values, total momentum before collision equal to total momentum after collisions. But there we have a change in momentum for first object and also for the second object because of that collisions. So that change in momentums we are going to taken. We know that Newton's second law, rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to applied unbalanced force. So that concept we are going to tackle. So that equation is F is equal to dP by dt. That is proportional to change in momentum with respect to time. So from this idea of Newton's second law, we are going to describe the value of change in momentum for first object and second object. Change in momentum in the first object is happened by the force extracted by the second object. So due to that force extracted by the second object on that first object, we can represent that symbol of that force F12 vector. That F12 vector is called as a second object extract a force on that first object. Due to this force, first object's momentum changes. The change in momentum of the first object going to represent as del P1 vector. This F12 vector is, that is force is going to act on the first object in a very short interval of time. That's why that time can be taken as del T. So these three factors we are going to relate it. That is F12 vector is proportional to del P1 vector divided by del T. That can be rearranged as, for we require that change in momentum of that first object, del P1 vector equal to F12 vector into del T. This is the formula for change in momentum of that first object. At this same instant, first object going to extract a force on that second object, that we can represent, that is F21 vector. F21 vector. Force act on that second object by the first object, that can be expressed as F21 vector. Due to this force act on that second object in a time interval of del T, there we have a change in momentum in that second object, that can be expressed as del P2 vector. Change in momentum of the second object. So it may be expressed as del P1 vector, that is del P2 vector can be equal to F21 vector into del T vector. That is a scalar quantity, no unit vector. That is F21 vector into del T. That can be taken as a second equation. So what is the total change in momentum of the system that we want to calculate? That is total change in momentum. Total change in momentum. So we make a vector sum on both sides of the first equation and second equation. That is del P1 vector plus del P2 vector equal to, it is the left side of the two equations. Next we are going to move that right side of that equation. There we have F12 vector into del T plus F21 vector into del T. You look that right side is, which one is common? Del T is common. Delta is a common. So that we are going to rearrange and take on the equation as del P1 vector plus del P2 vector equal to F12 vector plus F21 vector into del T. This can be taken as equation 3. So here that two forces F12 vector and that F21 vectors, these two are forces act one on that another at the instant of collision. According to our Newton's third law, one act on that another, their forces are equal and opposite. According to Newton's third law, we can take an F12 vector equal to another vector is F21 vector, but it is in act in opposite, equal and opposite. If you tackle this to substitute in our equation 3, instead of F12 vector, if you substitute minus F21 vector, then minus value and plus value, if you add up, that becomes a 0. So according to our Newton's third law, their total change in momentum del P1 vector plus del P2 vector equal to 0. So from this, del is going to taken del of P1 vector plus P2 vector. That also can be taken as 0. Total momentum is conserved. Even individual objects may have change in momentum. Individual object has a individual change in momentum, but total change in momentum is equal to 0. So based on this equation, momentum is conserved, we can say. This is going to rearrange in some form, in a limit form. By applying the limit form, there that time interval going to taken. That the time intervals are very short interval. That the time interval is del t. So that's why we rearrange the equation limit del t goes to 0, that is almost equal to 0, can be taken as del of P1 vector plus P2 vector divided by del t, then it can be taken as a 0. If you taken more smaller for that time interval, this can also be taken as d by dt of P1 vector plus P2 vector. From our equations, either you can taken fourth equation del P1 vector plus del P2 vector is equal to 0, or d by dt of P1 vector plus P2 vector is equal to 0. Either any equation if you taken in our list here, total momentum is conserved. Even after collision, individual objects may has change in momentum, but total change in momentum becomes a 0. So that's why by any type of collision, no external force, only the internal force, momentum is conserved. Okay. Next, we are going to see types of collisions. Types of collisions. So, in any instant collisions, there we have internal forces only. That's why one is linear momentum concept in any type of collision. Collisions, one is linear momentum concept. Then, anyway, total energy is conserved. These two are conserved in any type of collisions. But in some of the collisions, kinetic energy is not conserved. Due to the motion, we have kinetic energy for individual object. So in some of the collisions, kinetic energy is not conserved. I mean, certain amount of kinetic energy is going to transferred in other form of energies. At the time of collision, the colliding particles may make a deformation. Due to the deformation of that object at the time of collisions, the sound may be produced, heat may be produced, otherwise the heat also produced. So it may be transferred in the another form of energy. So that's why in any type of collision, total linear momentum and total energy is conserved, and kinetic energy is not conserved in all type of collisions. So based on that, with the consideration of the kinetic energy and without consideration of that kinetic energy, we have two type of collisions. That two types of collisions are two types of collisions. What are the two type of collision means? If the collision conserve the kinetic energy, that may be called as a elastic collision. That is, which one is a elastic collision means? Which collision conserve the kinetic energy, that is total kinetic energy of the system before collision equal to total kinetic energy of that system after the collision means that type of collisions are called as elastic collisions. If it is not conserved, that is a total kinetic energy is not conserved, then we can say that is inelastic collision. So, what is inelastic collision means? Where the kinetic energy is not conserved of the system, when that system's particles are make collision, then that type of collisions are called as inelastic collisions. So, for elastic collisions, three energies are conserved. That is total linear momentum, total energy and total kinetic energy. All the three are conserved in elastic collisions. In inelastic collision, linear momentum and total energy is conserved, but total kinetic energy is not conserved. Some part of that kinetic energy is going to transfer in other form of energy. So that's why for relating the equation of initial and final kinetic energy for elastic and inelastic collisions can be expressed as, for elastic collisions, total kinetic energy before collision equal to total kinetic energy after collision. This can be true for elastic collision. To that, linear momentum and the total energy also conserved. Without losing their kinetic energy, if we have a collision, that is elastic collisions, then inelastic collision, total kinetic energy before collision not equal to total kinetic energy after collision. I mean that total kinetic energy after collision is less than the total kinetic energy before collisions. So that loss of energy it can be taken as a del Q. That loss of kinetic energy in this system of inelastic collision, del Q can be taken as total kinetic energy before collision minus total kinetic energy after collision. That is a inelastic collision. In our inelastic collision, there we have a perfect inelastic collision, where we are saying the collision is a perfect inelastic collision. Means if you throw any paste on one of that moving vehicle, if that is stick together and move with the same velocity of that moving vehicle, then that collision can be taken as a perfect inelastic collision. That is, throwing object going to hit on that moving vehicle, one of the vehicle, that throwing object going to stick together with that moving vehicle, then the collision is called as a perfectly inelastic collision. Perfectly inelastic collisions. So that's why in a perfectly inelastic collision, after the collision, the two objects are combined, then it moves. Initially, before collision, the two may move, otherwise one of them only moves, another one is at rest, whatever may be that. After the collision, two objects are combined to make a motion. Then that type of collision is called as a perfectly inelastic collision. Perfectly inelastic collision. So overall, we have the comparison of elastic collision and inelastic collision. We can list what are that are conserved in both elastic collision and inelastic collision. That is a comparison of elastic and inelastic collision. So we are going to tackle like a table cover. Comparison of that elastic and inelastic collision. Here we are going to tackle first elastic collision. Second one is inelastic collision. So first we can say total linear momentum. conserved. Similarly, in inelastic collision also, total linear momentum conserved. Then second one is total energy is conserved. Here also total energy conserved. Then what happens at the kinetic energy? Kinetic energy is not conserved. There the forces acting may be taken as either conservative force and non-conservative force. In elastic collision, forces acting are conservative forces. Forces acting are conservative force. But here non-conservative force. So that's why without conserving, that is a force is a conservative force in elastic collision and non-conservative force in inelastic collision. Kinetic energy is conserved in elastic collision. Kinetic energy is not conserved in that inelastic collision. These are the comparison of the points between that elastic and inelastic collision. Okay, these are the two type of collisions we have. Thank you.